Hello and welcome to Star Citizen Sunday. This is a weekly show which covers all the news from Star Citizen from the week just past. I am your host Mac, so let's get on with it. This week, Fleet Week begins. We hear about the new flight model and turret changes, plus we hear about upcoming components. So for the first half of Inside Star Citizen, they talked about the Invictus Week, which is a week-long celebration, as we know, that the Navy holds to send off the new recruits joining the UEE. Now, apparently this dates back to the First Tevaran War, and the Navy used this as an opportunity to show off the new ships they have acquired for their fleet. This event really shows off the lore behind the UEE Navy, and you can see dioramas, you can buy clothing for different manufacturers. Don't forget to see the Navy fleet, Javelin, Idris and F8s flying around as well. We will take a look at those during one of the day's events. This is a week-long event which allows players to rent all flyable ships on display and check out the game for free if you have not bought a package yet. Now, I love this approach, and I think it is a great example of how the future of events and the sheer level of immersion CIG like to go to present and ingrain the history of the verse into the game is magnificent. One day I would love to see a CitizenCon done this way, maybe even this year considering it's not on, but if there is a CitizenCon where we're attending, they could hold one in the game where you could go and watch the live stream in an auditorium at the Bevic Centre, having everyone coming in from around the verse to the Bevic Centre to watch the event and attend the event in-game. If they can achieve something like that, I think it would be phenomenal. They also spoke a little bit about the G12A from Origin. We won't go into too much detail, as I will bring out a separate video, but there are three variants. You've got the base exploration variant, the racer, and the combat variant built for the UEE. I like the style of them, but I'm not buying one. And finally, there was a sprint report, which goes through progress made on a few upcoming features. First one was body dragging, which is looking really good. Now, this is still tier 0 and requires a bit more work. They said it's great for hiding bodies and dragging friends to safety. This was needed for Squadron 42, which is why we're seeing it in the PU as well. They will improve areas like the grab targeting to accommodate for various armor sizes. I am very excited to try this out. I'm sure a lot of you will be willing volunteers to be knocked down. The Cutlass Blue is also now flyable in 3.9.1, which is exciting. This should be available for all to try on Drake's Day at the Invictus Week, which I think is the last day. We will be giving a Cutlass Blue game package away as well, starting on Monday, so make sure you are subscribed here on YouTube so you don't miss out on that one. We got to see the updated cockpit for the Origin M50. Now, this is coming along very nicely with its improved lighting. They are prototyping a new auto brightness adjuster for the UI of the ship HUD as well, changing elements depending on the background. This is pretty much the biggest thing in this week's Inside Star Citizen. We need this ASAP, so excellent news to hear this is almost done. We saw some Grimhex images as they expand the location for races and hangars. And finally, we got a first look, very early work in progress, of Pyro 1. This planet is charred by the violent star of the Pyro system. Now, it's looking good. Nothing too unusual that we haven't seen before, but I am more looking forward to when we get to see systems that have lush forest biomes. Now, I know that Pyro is not the system for this, and I'm very excited to get it, but yeah, I can't wait nonetheless. Anyway, that was Inside Star Citizen. Let's move on. So Fleet Week has kicked off. This begun on the 22nd and is extended by a day to the 2nd of June due to the shaky start. The post linked below lets you see the schedule of what ships are available to fly for free and on what day. If there is a particular ship that you want to check out, use that to see when it's available. Every day I'll be heading down to the Bevic Centre on ArcCorp, taking in all there is to see, so make sure you're subscribed if you want to follow along. Also, during the event, the UEE Navy will be flying from spaceport to spaceport that are found above the main landing zones. I'll be trying to catch up with them tonight and take a look, and we will definitely take a closer look at these on stream, so come and hang out with us over at twitch.tv/supermacbrothers to see more. If you are new to Star Citizen, this is an ideal time to get in and try the game completely free. All you need to do is create an RSI account on their website, so use the link below, including a referral code if you haven't already, and this will grant you 5,000 in-game credits for free. From there, download the launcher and then download the game and get in and try out all the ships for yourself. Do bear in mind that this is an active development game and many of the core fundamental backend tech are not implemented yet, and it's very much work in progress, so there will be issues and there will be bugs. But that aside, I hope you have a good time. So Star Citizen Live this week was talking to the vehicle team, answering our questions, and the first question is, what's happening with AI blades for turrets? Now they say, right now they are planning out the precursor work for this, doing the revamp of the avionics motherboard, which includes the blades for different things, for like slaving turrets to be automated. They're getting it planned out for the near future. Each ship will have an avionics motherboard, which will have a varied amount of slots for these blades that will do different things. Now, I'm happy to see progress on this. It does sound like this might be the next round of components we will see. Getting these avionics boards and different blades to do different things will be quite interesting. Next question was basically Banu Merchantman ? Now, unfortunately, they want to spend a bit more time concepting the Banu Merchantman, so it is not being worked on actively now by the Carrack team. They want to get it all planned out first, and then it will hit production once figured out. The Carrack team has actually been split into 2 smaller teams, and each are working on 2 different ships. So, sorry Banu Merchantman owners, bad news there, I'm afraid. Will ships in the future, like the Star Runner, come with its associated gameplay? Now they say it is something that they are wanting to move to more in the future. The Mercury won't be live with data running, but it will be able to transport cargo, of course, so that is a benefit. Also talking about the Star Runner, will it be able to carry a rover? And they say yes, it has been slightly increased to allow it to carry a rover, as it was only slightly off-fitting one, so they decided to just increase the interior space a little bit and enlarge the ramp as well to accommodate a rover. Now this makes the Star Runner even more desirable, so I'm glad to see that they decided to take that route. It'll just add another facet to an already exciting ship. Next question, similar to the Banu one, is Hull C ? Now, unfortunately there are still a lot of tech hurdles for this, but they are making a lot of progress on it. The first one being docking. They are handling this now, as we know. This is scheduled for a 3.11, so October release. The physics grids and vis areas, so this is scaling them at runtime, is another aspect needed. The Hull C has currently 2 physics grids. You've got one at the front, one at the back. And as the ship extends, it needs a third one in the middle to scale at runtime. So as it's scaling, it is creating that physics grid. They are working on this now, and hopefully they will have it figured out soon. The third hurdle they need to get over is performance. Cargo is not optimized, especially for the scale of the Hull C. They don't want to have to physicalize 4,000 plus single SEU boxes, as this is obviously going to be very hefty on performance, so they will likely use less bigger boxes, so maybe 110 SEU boxes. Don't check the math on that. But they did say most of the tasks are in production now or are imminently moving into production, so fingers crossed this year they can get those issues resolved and we can get the Hull C. Next question, what can you tell us about the operating costs for larger ships like vehicle maintenance and fuel? Now they said it will be very expensive to run something like a huge capital ship. Doing it solo will be highly unlikely, not impossible if you have the time and persistence to put into it, but it is intended to be done as a group or an org. Next question is there a vehicle customization update? So they said there is going to be more components coming. The AI blades, as we know, are getting attention now. Tuning of thrusters will be an upcoming feature as well, so having different thruster sets for ships. They have done the prerequisite work to support this and are about there now for the core system to allow this. They just need it to be sort of incorporated with the shops and the economy. So this will be quite interesting, being able to swap out your current thrusters for varying types, maybe sets that are probably more efficient on fuel or give you more performance, but obviously there will be a trade-off. So if it's more performance, it might wear down quicker and so on. Next question is probably the most exciting one for me, is are there any flight model updates? Now they said coming in Alpha 3.10, so the next patch, which is at the end of June, will bring an aerodynamics overhaul. Things like efficiency curves to thrusters, atmosphere will affect the output of the thruster, and a lot of subtleties as well. So do expect an update on Inside Star Citizen soon, and I am very excited to hear this. I really hope that it's everything that we want it to be, and I'm glad it's coming for the next patch. That is a nice surprise. Let's just hope that the ships fly more realistically in atmosphere. Also, some improvements are coming to turrets. They want to make them more effective, and this is what Dave Coulson said. He said he feels turrets are the best they've ever played, and using a hammerhead with 2 occupied turrets, one side and one top, they took on waves of AI, and in 5 minutes, they had killed 50 AIs. Now they have reworked turrets from the ground up. They will make a post detailing the flight and combat changes coming in 3.10 shortly. And also, on a side note, they say that fixed weapons are viable again. So, if this is true, we could see a new dawn for the flight and turret and combat, but we know that their focus is on getting ship flight and combat the best it can be. Obviously, until we get it in our hands, there is no way of knowing if these improvements are actually any good. I am remaining hopeful, and I am so much more excited for 3.10. So, next question is to do with the constellation Taurus. Why is it taking so long? Now, the reason is because other ships have just taken priority, as we already have a lot of cargo ships in the game. It will come to the roadmap later, they say, and they did say that there is no constellation rework on the cards. Now, this is a bit of a shame. The interior of the constellations are not great, and they feel dated and cold. I still love the look of these ships, but the interiors are just a bit meh. So that's very unfortunate. Sorry, Constellation owners. Maybe time to get a Corsair, or even a Star Runner, now that it can hold a rover. So the next question is just docking, ? Now, if you don't know, there's going to be 2 types of docking column metrics. We have the circular 2-meter diameter, and I think a 3x2-meter radius as well. I can't remember the exact metrics for the second one. Whatever the scale of the front hammerhead airlock door is, but each docking collar can dock to itself, so circles with circles and rectangles with rectangles. Stations will use the same 2 types as well. They are working on it now, just resolving some issues they have. The Merlin and Constellation docking and the Caterpillar Command Module docking are special cases, but they are actively figuring these out and how they will work with the rest of the system. It is going to be very useful and exciting when docking comes in. When will we get lighting states in ships? Now, it is scheduled, but compared to other tasks, it's low priority. That makes sense, but I am looking forward to it. The Mustang Alpha cargo hold, when will it be working? Now, it is a tech blocker, they say, similar to the Hull C. Cargo grids currently only work on the inside of ships. They're going to get it working for external cargo as well, but there's no dates to this. Will we be able to get faster ground vehicle speeds? This is a question that keeps popping up. Now, they are looking into ways to allow this. The issue is that the terrain is very rocky, so they say giving us more speed will result in frustration as we would crash every 2 seconds. They did say they could give us more speed and just let us try it for ourselves and experience that for ourselves, and personally I would prefer to be given the option for more speed while they work out cleaning up the ground assets a bit. Obviously it's up to us if we want to go that speed or not. Hopefully as they further develop the terrain and planets, they will begin to create biomes which are less cluttered and really allow us to open up our vehicles. Getting our own Dragonfly races would just be great fun. Next question, will we get quantum fuel normalized by fuel tank size rather than a seemingly random number? Now, they say it is not entirely based on fuel tank size. Your usage rate, the quantum drive's efficiency rate, and so on all factor into this. Fuel tanks in ships will be physicalized and targetable once they have them modeled out. If things do seem unbalanced in terms of quantum efficiency or fuel efficiency, stick it on the issue council and they will take a look. Next question, with the ship HUD rework, will it retain my MFD display setup from use to use? Now, eventually they say yes, this is part of the rework, like persistence on the MFD pages and customization of the HUD, but there are no dates for this. It might need the global persistence, I don't really know, but this is being all worked on now. When will ground vehicle handling get attention? Now, priority, they say, is on ships, getting them to a really high standard, and then they will move on to and apply those applicable features onto ground vehicles. Currently, they are in the design phase to work out what the ground vehicle requirements are, and then they will move on from that. Next question, Polaris ? Not in active development, they say. It is requiring a little bit more concept work, which they are working on now, so kind of is in active development. You know, if you class concept work as part of that, it is part of the pipeline, I guess. But apologies on my leaked ship video. It was believed to be in development. Next question, what's happening with the 600i polish pass? Now, they have a clear idea of what needs to be done, but there is no movement yet. They will be making the crew quarters less open and reducing the excessive bridge space, but it is a bit more work than they originally planned. So it's a bit low priority right now as the ship is in game and it's functioning, but they will address it later on. So final question, enhanced ship modularity ? So the ability to attach items inside the vehicle and have those items communicate to the outside of the vehicle is needed. Work on this is scheduled for the upcoming quarter, and they will talk more about it in a future video. I'm glad to see that this is something on their mind. Getting modules for ships will be a big win. Anyway, that is it for Star Citizen Live. Obviously, there was a few disappointments there, like the Polaris, the Banu Merchantman, the Constellation series not getting a rework, but also do take from it that a lot of good stuff is coming down the line. With that said, do let me know your thoughts, and let's move on. So also this week we had a new post talking about the painting of our ships and what will be available during the event. This means that all ships will come with their base skin and the ability to swap and equip additional skins via the Mobiglass. Now this will roll out 2 more ships as the event continues, but for now they are only available to purchase with real cash, with the ability to purchase them in-game and using Alpha UEC in an upcoming patch. In the future, they also plan to introduce a variety of exclusive skins that can only be earnable in-game using UEC. They will gradually migrate any older paint skins to the new system, so for example the Aurora South by Southwest skin, and I'm looking forward to being able to further customize our ships in-game using these paint jobs. I probably won't be buying any, I don't think, but if one does take my fancy, I'll maybe pick one up. For those wanting to learn more in regards to Fleet Week and the Free Fly, there is a post detailing all that you need to know. We have had a new portfolio post looking into the rest and relax stations and how they became the most popular rest stops for travellers across the UEE. And finally, there is a post detailing the Origin G12A rover and its concept sale. I'll have a video out sometime next week taking a closer look at this. So that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed it and share the video with all your friends. If you like what I do and want to help me make it better, follow the link below to my Patreon page to learn more.